No, because this is why I say trust the process, because I literally feel like I'm at 5 Nights at Freddy's. Girl, this is scary. And once again, don't drag. Do not drag. You want to be soft. Do not do drags.
Please don't call me twin. I don't look like you. Bad bitch and I'm cocky. Make her hating hoe uncomfortable. She thinks she first.
Alright, enough about her, because I don't know who she is and why she's in my video, but you know what, if you want to be in it, you get a little feature. But so for today, I've already kind of done a little bit of my skin prep before my makeup. So I usually do like a nice exfoliator, so I've been using like the Paula's Choice right now. And that just like clears up the skin, as well as like doing a nice little dermaplaning and shaving, because if you are not dermaplaning, girl, the texture, not for me. So I'm gonna start off with kind of like bringing some moisture back in. So I have recently been using, I'm almost done with this. I've been using the Laneige glowy makeup serum. It's been really good, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't initially like want this in a crazy way, because when I was like going to buy it, I was originally just going for like the little like lip balm for Laneige, but at the time I was seeing this guy and he was like, girl, like, do you want my card? And I was like, do I want your card? Why would I want, give me that. And literally I was talking like to the lady over there, and obviously she was like working for Laneige, so she was like, no, this one's really good, like this one's also really good. I was like, no way, queen, like this one's really good, put that in there. So she is the last surviving Laneige product, besides like some cleansers I have over there, but like that girl, he did not survive, but she has been living. So it's me and twin right now, but I definitely recommend her. So I'll just do usually about like 2 drops. I kind of just fill in this amount. Any serum is pretty much gonna work. I like this because I like bringing the moisture back into my skin, and I am kind of like dry skin, so I like to just really like bring that moisture in, because if not, I am going to look crusty, and girl, I do not want to be looking crusty. So I kind of usually just put that on for a little bit. I'll usually wait maybe like, I'd say like 2 minutes, just like get some stuff around the house, you know, and then afterwards I'm gonna be going in with my sunscreen, so I'll be right back. Alright, so now that that's done kind of like sinking into my skin, I'm gonna be going in with my sunscreen. Normally, if it's like a morning, I recommend just originally doing your sunscreen, like get like a nice sunscreen, put that on, and then right before your makeup, I also recommend putting another layer, because especially in Miami, girl, you are going to be sweating so much. I recommend specifically getting a sunscreen that's from a makeup brand, because their formulas are kind of like more designed to be used with makeup, because I feel like a lot of like some other sunscreen brands, oh my god, tongue twister, girl, they're literally getting my tongue. But I recommend using the Tatcha sunscreen, because it's actually formulated for makeup, and it'll really just like sink into your skin. And a lot of like the Tatcha products, I think she's worth it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say I also think like the Tillbury, she's pretty good, and she's also I always forget how many pluses there are. It's PA plus the plus dolls. Literally, like, I'm sorry, when I see the PA and the 4 pluses, I literally just be like, I'm just like, oh, I know my skin's gonna be staying good. I'm gonna be settling and beating the wrinkly allegations. So I pretty much just I'll usually put some onto the skin or onto my like hand, but I'll just kind of let that like drip a little bit, so a lot of the product kind of goes evenly on the face. And then I just kind of dab it out like that, and I make sure to only go like horizontally. That way you kind of pat it into your skin, and you're not like disrupting a lot of like the actual product, because when you like do like circles and stuff like that, like it's literally like, imagine if you're like trying to clean your car, you're gonna be wiping like that. If you're doing the dishes, you wipe like that, because you're trying to remove it. So why are you trying to like remove this stuff off of your face? So I just kind of like, I also take this when I'm doing it like this, and kind of like more specific areas, And I'll just kind of dab it like that. And then just work my way through. What I really like about this product too is the fact that like it also just kind of like mattifies the skin. So I have like all that moisture that's already locked in, but I still get like that kind of mixed kind of like appearance where it's not like completely like, okay girl, you literally just ran a marathon and now you're trying to like surface, bitch. Girl, you just crossed the finish line and you look like you're about to throw up, girl. But yeah, I just pretty much put in like all over here, and then I repeat the same process of like waiting 2 minutes, because if you don't, I'm sorry, that is usually what's messing up your makeup, because from there you're just putting like wet layers and wet layers, and then they're gonna like not mix together, girl. It's not it. So I just really recommend like taking your time, girl. Literally do whatever, girl. If you gotta jack it off 2 minutes, go live your life, but do it with some nice sunscreen on. Alright, so now that like the sunscreen's dry, and a good way to test that is if you do like a little paper towel, and if it sticks, girl, you're the sticky doll. But like if not, then you're all set to go. So right now I'm gonna be going in with my primer, and I also kind of in like, oh, my T-zone, makeup artist. But literally like I go in with the Danessa my exploring balm, just because she gets like a nice like kind of finish onto your face and really controls the oils, because I love my blotting paper, but it just does not do enough. I need like that little extra layer. And then also if you have like any fine lines or anything like that, it's great to put it in, because then it'll kind of like create that extra layer, so it's not giving the Grand Canyon, girl. So I'm just gonna put on a little bit, and I'm not showing y'all because I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of gross. Like, she's been through it. But I also have some other options that I recommend that are pretty good, especially for like mixing in with foundation. Like, I'm sorry, I have gate kept her for so long, but the Palladio, girl, when I tell you, she made my skin so smooth. I literally felt, I was like, oh, untouchable. Who puts on makeup? Who's the clown? Are we at a kid's birthday party because you're wearing that much makeup? Girl, at that point, like, I felt untouchable. I'm gonna start with the under eyes because that also takes a long time. So I'm just gonna color correct. You can use LA Girl, is pretty good. I like using the Huda Beauty. I got this one for free. Shout out to the VIPs, the VIBs, the girls who know. But I like to just go in this inner corner, and I'll do 3 dots. I'll do one there, one here, and that's where I press the hardest, and then I go here, because I really want to like concentrate it where I'm gonna put like my lightest concealer, so that way it's really like, because usually it's the thickest one. And then I'll just repeat the same thing here, and my dark circles go into my eyes, so I just go a little bit higher than most people. But yeah, I don't like doing the end, because sometimes, especially with like how I do my eyeliner and how I do like my concealer, it just kind of looks like it looks a little bit too orange at the end, because it's not as dark, or it's not as thick. And then I also kind of go in the edges, because I've had some electrolysis, but honestly I haven't done the edges of the top of my like lip. So I just kind of put a little bit there, but I don't put too much, because if not, it's gonna look really harsh. And then I'll put a little bit, very little bit underneath, like on the chin. But yeah, I just leave that there, and then I take a small beauty blender. Honestly, what I normally do, I take like a big one and I just all the way up, and then I just use that piece, because then you can kind of like customize it. But this one has a really nice tip, so you can just Okay, so now that she's on, I also, normally I would do this with a mirror, but girl, we're filming a video, so right now I'm just gonna use y'all as the video. So anyways, I just like to blend this out, and I like to press very lightly and kind of not drag it out, but just use whatever's left over and bring it to the end of the eye, and also a little bit downwards, because my dark circles go a little bit lower. I'll do the same thing here, and kind of, instead of going down, I'll just raise it up. So I just kind of blend that out. You can go whatever speed you like. I like taking my time in this part, because if not, you kind of get onto skin that it doesn't need to be there. And it helps you kind of like build the shape of where you want to put your concealer afterwards, because you can pretty much just cover that part and then you're set. You don't really have to think about like, okay, now the placement of that. You kind of just match it out with like where you would put your concealer either way. And you see how that like already just makes it disappear, which always get the chin, girls, always get the chin. But yeah, I'm just gonna blend that out and really do like a very thin layer, because if not, it's gonna show through your makeup. And the worst thing is, bitch, I'd rather have like dark circles that are literally like than like, I'm sorry, seeing orange on my face, bitch. Oh no. I'm gonna be actually going in with my eyeliner, and first, before anything, I'm gonna be going in with some powders, because I'm not gonna lie, I tend to mess up a lot with my eyeliner. This is gonna be really tough using it here, but I tend to mess up a lot on my eyeliner, so I don't like saving it for the end. And I also don't like, a little trick is like I start with like a powder, because powders are much easier to erase than like most eyeliner formulas. Actually, I think I'm actually gonna skip to this, because I was starting that and I was like, it's not gonna turn out cunty. So what I recommend, start with a powder. Okay, so I did one eye. What I recommend, at least for my eye shape, because I kind of have like almond eyes, I normally do like some puppy liner, like in between puppy liner and just like a classic cat eye, just a little bit lower than a regular cat eye. And then I underline like this entire area, because I want to like add, I want to lower, I want to shorten this, because that just makes you look like super soft and cutie, like, I'm sorry, like, but if you put it underneath, it's gonna shorten this part of your face and bring your eyes down. And I recommend being careful, but luckily I do this now, because then you're gonna cover up some extra areas with concealer. And then also I go in with a brown, because I think on the bottom you should soften it and then make it a little bit harsher on the top. So I usually keep the powder on the bottom, but I'll trace over this part and with an eyeliner. And I also added in the inner corner to kind of like extend it like closer to the nose and really like elongate the eye out. So I'm just gonna be doing the same thing onto this, and then I'm gonna add the eyeliner onto here, and you'll see the difference between this and after. Trust me, this part looks crazy right now. I literally feel like the like ghost of Miley Cyrus passed. But once we go in with the concealer, you can really clean it up and it'll be looking snatch. So I'm gonna go put on a little bit of concealer, and I'll show you how to put on that concealer. Okay, so I take some of my concealer, I put it onto my hand, kind of spread it out, and I use, so before y'all roast me in the comments, I use this little like lip product that you get at like Sephora, because I think it just like, you're able to put just the right amount of product, and I just put it right in there. And this is only gonna be in the inner corner. So right here, I just kind of press it onto there and try to do like a uniform layer. And then from there, because this is a really thick concealer, I'm gonna mix the rest, because this is where I want like the most coverage. I'm gonna mix the rest with like one of the foundations that I use. Okay, so I mixed it in, and now I'm gonna show you how, see how this is kind of like, it's hard to tell, but it's like less thick than it was originally. I'll start putting some for my underpainting, where I just want to like have in general. I'm just gonna do there. I like to contour my nose this way, just because you really want to get in there. You don't want to use so much harsh like contours. And then here I just kind of like doop, and build out the shape that I want. And I'll do the same thing on top and just kind of like work from there. And then you kind of like start getting a little bit more of the shape, and you're able to cover it, because it's so thick that it's like, I don't know, it helps to like adhere onto. And then I'll even just go up. To me, it's kind of like the same thing as like putting the tape on, even though I think the tape is cleaner. I just like putting the concealer on, because something about it just, I feel like I know where to go with my concealer afterwards. And then I'm just gonna do a straight line there. Normally this is much better with just a mirror, but I feel like showing y'all how that looks right here. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more here. in these little corners, and then I'll put it in general wherever like I want to highlight underneath. And it's gonna look a little crazy for now because the underpainting part, girl, trust the process. No, because this is why I say trust the process, because I literally feel like I'm at Five Nights at Freddy's. Girl, this is scary. Okay, so you want to blend this all out. Girl, this is wild. You need to blend this into your skin. I like using like a foundation brush, like one of these is, and while you're blending it in, you also want to blend it out. So you're just gonna tap, but make sure you're going outwards because you want to draw away from the face. Like you want to make sure these areas are highlighted, and this is where you want to build your bone structure. This is where you see this, bitch, this is FFS. This is my FFS. Girl, Dr. Jumeli, watch it. But don't watch it because I will be coming to you soon, hopefully, please. Pretty much, yeah, you see this? Girl, that's why you need to blend for your life. And also don't touch the nose. Do not touch the nose because for some reason it always shows through the hardest. Like you want this to just be subtle when you put on your foundation. You don't want it to like pop like severely, but you just want to put it enough where it's like, okay, just severe. Blend all this out, and I don't like covering like this area because if not it looks a little bit too hard, but see how that's kind of like building this new like face. Like everything's just a little bit more structured, everything's a little bit smaller, and everything's a little bit more pinched in. So now I'm going to be moving on to foundation. Okay, so using this same applicator, I'm going to use a slightly darker foundation on this part, and I'm just going to tap all across here. So I'm just going to do this, and especially, you just want to make it consistent across everywhere. You don't want to put extra in like the contour because if not, it's going to look like, what was the point? You want to make sure it's low so it still covers each area, but you still have that product underneath, so it'll just pretty much cover it, but it'll still like peek through. Especially when you're blending this out, you want to make sure that you're doing kind of soft touches, and I'll show you what type of brush I use so it kind of stays within there. But I'll do this on anywhere that I kind of see a little bit of contour, because then you'll still have that also like contour effect with like the like, I think it's like, I wouldn't even say 1 shade lighter, I would say like a 0.5 shade lighter. So yeah, I just do that and then I'll go in with the other foundation. Now she is fully tapped in and I've done the other layer, and I basically put it here, 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 and here, and a little bit here. Okay, so you want to take this type of brush and pat your top. Oh, Benicia, like, so what you're gonna want to do is I start here, tap, tap, tap all the way through while still going upwards. And you see how that's almost like, you can also use this with like one of those I wouldn't say beauty blenders, but I'm gonna like put it right here. Those also work as well. But you see, you don't want to drag it. Do not drag it. Do not drag it, girl. But you just want to press into it. And especially in this layer, you just want to like blend the two together. But yeah, try. I messed up there. You definitely should start from the bottom, because then you can kind of work the pigment into each other. But yeah, and then I pretty much just go here and I bring it up, and I just kind of like blend everything together. So I'm just pressing it down and bringing this up, because you really want to like snatch the face up without having to like do anything else. And then here on the nose, I also go a little bit to the out and really just cinch the nose in. Like, this is like putting on like a face corset, like, honestly. And then this I'll kind of point downwards, and then here I'm just gonna tap it into here, maybe a little bit upwards. Do the same thing here, a little bit across, and then pretty much just getting the dots away. And then you're gonna go in with this end of the brush and then just blend that out. So you can really just work with whatever type of brush, but this is like the combo I like to do to get like Just a really nice soft base, and I could honestly spend hours in this tub and just literally, when they say beat your face, girl, you need to go, like, this is one of those like massagers, and just go in there like at the top setting and people are gonna hear. So just really go in, but you can kind of see how like you can kind of tell there's like a contour underneath, but you don't see it as much as like a harsh like contour line where it's like, girl, we know you're wearing a full face, but it kind of almost like it gives the illusion of like almost like it could be my bone structure, you know, just a little turkey moment, you know, just a little one. So but yeah, I just like keep going in there, and once again, don't drag, do not drag. You want to be soft, do not do drags. But yeah, just blend all of this out into each other, and then you kind of have your skin. Also, if you want, for this area, you could definitely do like a little skin tint, a little softness. So base is done. Now I'm gonna go in with like my nose contour, and this is kind of where I go harshest. And I am going to go from the outside of my eye and really just gonna build a little bit of crease. And I just use like a brownish shade. I like using kind of like a cool tone shade just because of my skin tone, but I just kind of like map this area out. So, and I like to make this eye smaller just because I have like a little bit of an uneven eye, and just bring this into the nose and to the brow, because for some reason that just really softens it when you bring it right to the brow. And I have like these cowlicks right here, you can just like tuck it into there and then leave this in almost like a cut crease style, but it's not as noticeable because it's like very soft and you really want to blend it out. And I bring it up to like match like the eye level where this kind of like pointed end goes, and I'll just use like the leftover of like any brush to bring into these areas. So I just map out the natural like crevice that's there. I don't really like create anything new, because if not, sometimes it can kind of get into like, girl, ooh, little touchy area. But I also like to bring this outwards, and I'll just turn and really go into that brow bone, because girl, that is for me one of the most clockiest parts. Oh, I cannot wait for FFS. So yeah, I'll just kind of like play around with that. I'll probably do that off screen and then like show you. So right now I'm gonna start contouring my nose, and I already started putting some on. I have a bump right here. I like to cover that in contour and then cover it in blush. That way it kind of like hides. But I'm just gonna kind of like create this almost like diamond effect here and go straight in to really like pinch the nose. And I put this under part so it like tilts my nose up, or it gives me like an upturned nose. And I'm just gonna like almost go across here, but not too harsh. And then also here, I'll kind of like very lightly go up and down and just get that cinch into there, but not too much, because then it's gonna elongate it a lot. And I also like going here to kind of like shorten the distance. And my nose is a little crooked, so I have to add a little bit more on one side. So like I usually go higher and a little bit here. I don't know why. That one I don't know why, but I just like doing that. And also underneath here to shorten the lip area. And I usually either do like a upturn like that, almost like a U, or I'll do like a straight line with it. And I also like to bring into the nostril a little bit up there, and then I'll blend this out so it's not looking like super crazy. So I'm gonna be right back. Next is my favorite part. I love blush. Blush like is really that girl, because it will just add so much color. And I like using the lilybyred. I'll start off with like my main color, so whatever color you feel like is like the best for your skin, you do a little bit of that on the apples. I like to go like this because I want to like shorten this and bring it out. So I'll do like up to the eye and then out, like I'm going in like a little circle there. But I don't want to go too far, because you're gonna build it out with like other blushes, because you want to get like that gradient in, because you never want to just use one blush. And then I'll go a little bit here, whatever is like my neutral blush. And then onto the nose, right where that contour is, up until the highest point, but right before the highest point. So you can tell there's contour and then there's blush. So it mixes into that. But yeah, you're just gonna go into there, really pat it down. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna be blending in with like a bunch of other blushes, so you're good. Next, I go in with like a lighter one. And this one I put just a little bit on the outside, just so it widens my face. Because I have more of an angular face. If you have like a rounder face, you know, this isn't for you. But I want to make my area here as round as possible. Like I have a round face, so I just extend that, almost like looking out there and looking at the furthest tip. If you could like pull two little lines out there, put that right there. Almost like you're doing like a little clown face like that. And you see how that just kind of like builds the face out, widens here, and then it looks smaller in comparison. And next I go in with my darkest shade. So I have like a red here, and I go in right under here because I saw this from a filter one time that like they squinched that down. I don't even know if squinch is a word, but I kind of go downwards and up in like a triangle and then bring it around. And that, see how like, look at the difference. That just snatches you up but still makes it look round. So you go out and then you're gonna go down and kind of build as if you're using your contour. So that's why I like using, I don't really use too much contour because you can use contour like blush as your contour and it looks more natural because it's just a harsh line. But a little bit of blush, it's like, oh, you're just a little rosy. And then obviously this is kind of, it's not as like daytime. Also put a little bit here, just on like the top of the brow bone. Yeah, so I'll just put a little bit there. Also kind of in between to like make it more gradient on the nose because I kind of want to like not draw too much attention from the nose. And more onto like the tip. What to do, because this can be a little harsh, just take the same foundation brush and pretty much like pat it over. So like the leftover foundation, like instead of using like a powder, I mean obviously do what you want to do, but if you want it to look more natural. Next, so now that we kind of have that there, I like to also cut the cheek. So wherever your nose is, kind of go out there and then go up. Same here. Match it with the tip of your nose, and then that just kind of gives you like a little bit extra, and you'll go in with some powder too to like build that out. But now I'm just gonna powder the areas that I want. So I take this type of brush and I'm gonna start with my lightest, like my brightening powder, and I use the Mercier because it's so good. And I just kind of tap this whole area underneath the eye into the nose, and then I repeat for the areas that I really want to brighten. So this under eye, and this gives like the perfect amount to me where it's not too much but it still blurs it out. And then I'm also going to be putting that here. I like to put it all over because this area is kind of like, you know, there could be hair showing up. You want to do that too. Oh, also I forgot to do this. You want to use your foundation brush also, not foundation, your concealer brush. I'm going to tap a little bit there because then I have like a bigger like lower half, so putting this little dot kind of makes it seem like it's smaller. But yeah, I also use like the leftover and just pat it in this little area, and you want to like highlight. I like imagining there's like a triangle here, pretty much whatever's in that triangle, but smooth this point out. So you kind of see how there's a little bit more of this like brightening. Okay, now from here I take the same brush, especially with that leftover. Then I take a translucent, wipe a little bit off, don't use all of it, and just kind of go over every other area that I don't want to highlight. That way you have your areas that are highlighted, but you also have like just a natural setting power. Also, I'm going to add this in, highlight this area, right underneath where you put that original contour underneath. Just highlight the underneath so it kind of like gives you more of like a jawline. And then sometimes I even like to like soak in and do a little bit of like what's it called, like contour into there. But be careful with that because sometimes it can kind of look like bricky, no shade. Next, I'm gonna go in with like a white powder foundation, and with one of these like what's it called, triangle puffs. I'm just gonna go a little bit here. I like using the one size, so good. And then especially in the areas I really want to draw the most attention to, tip of the nose at the top, just a little bit, some pats. And this part right above the lips and right underneath that contour. And then the last place I'm gonna do, I'm just adding some more, is this under eye, like right there. Bring that in a little bit, almost like to where you're bringing the eye to there. And then sometimes I'll even do a little bit like right here, right underneath, where you can kind of get some creasing there. If you even want, you can do a little bit like that. Oh, also, so I'm literally adding like 20 different places. A little bit there always helps. Also, I will be doing my eyebrows. I know y'all like are probably looking at my eyebrows like, girl, when? Next, I put a little bit of, what's it called? Like this. Sorry. Next, I put in with like a cotton pad. I take a little bit of exfoliant, wet it right there, and then fold to wherever it is, and then you just want to go on your lips, and you just want to like rub it into here. See, you could do it with like a makeup remover, but I like using exfoliant because then also you get some of the dead skin off. And especially if you are not getting hydrated, girl, this will kind of like save your lips a little bit before you put anything on. And you also get to kind of see, one of the benefits is you kind of get to see the lip shape you can build out for yourself by almost like rubbing it away. And it's not as harsh as like if you just took like a dry cotton pad and then ripped it off. It's like you're gonna have like the excess powder. And sometimes I'll add a little bit more. Like right now I'm gonna add a little bit more because it can like soak up a lot. Cue the reference. Just build out your lip from here. And then next I'm gonna go in with my lip liner. So I'm gonna be going in with this lip liner. Make sure to sharpen it. I'm gonna go sharpen it. I was not gonna sharpen it. Okay, now that I guilted myself into sharpening this, I like to overline my lips because I don't care what anybody says. F these girls who are like, oh, the chocolate milk drinkers. Girl, I will sip that chocolate milk. Bitch, I'll make it a protein drink. Girl, like, I'm sorry, don't play with me because this is going to change everything. Start wherever here. I don't want to have this cupid's bow. I don't know why. I just don't like it like that. Oh, I'm gonna get that out. Hold up, one sec. So back to what we were doing. Up here, draw a line up, however tall you want it to be. I usually do it like right there. Next, you want to go above into here, like you're drawing an N, but you're making the tip right there. And you kind of go out like if you make a diagonal with like your front teeth. And make sure, put the main line right in between where the top here and with the actual lip. Because you know, I hate it. I'm sorry, I hate it when girls overline, but they don't overline into their lips. Because then you can see the lip. So you can obviously tell it's being overlined. But if you can't tell where the line is, it's not as obvious. Next, I go in this inner corner, draw it out. This is where you really don't want to make the mistake. And make sure to just go regular. Do not overline here. Just put some there. And then now you're gonna basically just connect them and make it look natural. And for this, I like to turn to the side, because sometimes I have this mistake a lot. It will like not look even, so it'll just like look super big here, but this part won't be filled. You basically just want to like build it out a little bit, and you want to leave a little bit of extra because then you're going to take the back of this and buff it out, and it likes to spread a little bit, so that way you don't worry about like, okay, it's even bigger than I expected. You can just almost underline where you're gonna overline, and then you'll see like you're just gonna pressing it out there So it's like the rim then becomes what you're actually overlining. See? You kind of get that little extra. You can like, sometimes you mess up a little bit, so you can just take like that same exfoliant and go a little bit underneath or with like a concealer and just kind of tap around it, but not like put a concealer, but like if you have a leftover brush, use that, because, or you could just use your nail like in there and kind of like build the shape out. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do the same thing I'll show you with like the underlip, but use a darker color. Okay, so now for the under part, how I like to do it, because you want your top lip to either look the same or smaller than your bottom lip. I'll actually kind of almost underline it. Like I'll just do like a regular like lip and not really too much. If anything, I underline here, but I'll kind of extend out there. Same with here. I remember these inner corners, you never want to extend. I recommend opening your mouth. Going like that. And then you're gonna like swipe down. So it's like, it kind of like pouts your lip a little bit. And then I'm gonna clean this, but I like building the shape. So I'll take this with the darker one. And then just kind of copy what I'm doing here. It kind of like plumps your lips, the inside. And then one last thing, take your concealer brush, tap it here, and do not press your lips together. Like, bring attention to your top lip and make sure to blot this all out. Next, you're gonna take whatever lip gloss you use. I like using a tinted lip gloss because then you have like consistency with what you're putting. And you're gonna like take it and then put a lot right there. And this is usually a good amount. Put there, top, and top on top. And you just want to tap on top and into once, and then move this out. You don't really want to do that because then you're gonna mess up a lot of it, but you just kind of want to go into there, marry it together, and look how gorgeous it looks. I'm sorry, that just gets your lips together. And then next, I'm just gonna add a little bit of shine onto my eyelids, add a little bit of blush right here, and finish on my eyebrow. Brush, and you're gonna want to highlight the inner corner. So I like going in, for me, for my skin tone, I'll usually do like a gold onto here, and you're gonna want to like tap that into this whole area. Black and gold is always gonna look good together, so it's kind of like a safe bet. So you can kind of just put that right on top of like where your eye sits. And then I like going in with like almost like a whitish clear shade right in there to just brighten it up. So I'm just gonna take like one of these and go in to kind of like highlight that area. And really just really like build the eye to look big, but it's still small because of the contour. So that way, and because you're using neutral colors, it doesn't look as intense as if you're using like, I don't know, like a blue pigment or something. I don't know, girl, use whatever you want to use. But like if you want to go a little bit softer but still be like glam, this kind of like neutral, almost like skin tone, or honestly, you could probably use your brightening powder and just like tap that into there. But I like using an eyeshadow just because I think it like really gets you together. A little bit there on the outer corner, and then I like adding like a darker color. I kind of like adding this pinkish right out here, and that just kind of like gives a nice little pop of color, because if not, it's like too boring to me. Like, I'm sorry, it's still gonna look good. And like I just think it pairs so well, and it's like my little Neapolitan ice cream. But yeah, and then blend that out with like one of like the fluffy brushes that you have. So next I'm gonna add some blush. Okay, now so I just take my lighter shade and then I'm gonna do like these horizontal lines right here. Just because of like my face shape, it kind of like extends the face outwards and it makes like a nice contrast with that red that you had earlier. Especially where the nose hump is, it kind of like distracts from that. So yeah, and then I just kind of blend that out, especially right until the eye. Maybe a little bit here, so you can like marry into that like sorry. When you get to that stage of makeup, you just start feeling it. I recommend, so what I did for my brows is I tweezed them so they could be straight, but I'm not, girl, they kind of like, ooh, they're bi-curious right now. The bi-curious brows. So I just kind of like extend the tail out a little bit, almost like you're going till there. And then just fill in kind of like these little parts. So I'm just gonna fill them in. You know, when you do it, just do like strokes like that. But I'm gonna fill it in. Also, I forgot to mention to kind of make your forehead a little bit bigger. I mean, some girls don't really want to do that, but I think like adding like a apex in there or like just a top, it will really feminize your face no matter what. So I'm just gonna take the leftover and right underneath that top, I just go right there. And then I'm just gonna like build your face more out. So now I'm just gonna do mascara and we're all set. Okay, so right now I'm gonna go in with my eyelash curler. And I like going into the end and then just pressing a little bit out. Go all the way in, look there, and then just keep pressing them out. And then for whatever, because I have uneven eyes, I don't use lashes. You can use clusters. Clusters used to work really well for me, but sometimes it's just a little bit out there. I like putting, where I really concentrate is here and here. And then I'll just go underneath and kind of shimmy that out and try to look away and do it. And I won't do like too many layers, maybe like one or two. Because if not, it looks clumpy. So yeah, kind of like take that out. And then underneath here, just almost hold it sometimes. Because I feel like that adds like a lot of like a volume. And then I try not to touch my under eyes. I'll literally just go, ow. Some people like to pinch them. I used to do that, but it just looked weird on me. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole look. So let me also put on some setting spray, powder melt setting spray, and finishing spray. But you should be, I didn't do this because I'm kind of not, I don't have it right now. But you should be putting setting spray in between each layer. Also for the neck, I just like bringing whatever like color you have over here and just dragging it down so it kind of creates more of that V shape. Yeah, so this is the finished look. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of obsessed. Obviously you can kind of play around with it depending on how your hair is doing, because when it's straight like this, I like to just like that. But yeah, let me know what you think, what you would want to try out, what you would change. Yeah, just let me know. But thank you so much for watching.